everybody, and welcome to the weekly Scope from the 30th of June right up into the 6th of July. So, as I do, I'm going to talk about the main influences that are flavouring our week this week. So first of all, we've got Jupiter, the planet of expansion, making a semi-square to Chiron, the wounded healer. So this entered on the 26th of June, is exact on the 1st of July at 5:13 a.m. and Jupiter's in Taurus and Chiron's in Pisces, and this energy is going to leave us around the 6th of July at 8:34 a.m. The Sun makes a contra parallel to Pluto, which is the same as an opposition, but this aspect means that the Sun and Pluto are just on opposite sides of the atmosphere right now. So that influences us by, our egos in opposition with our need to change, basically. So this entered on the 23rd of May, is exact on the 2nd of July, and leaves us on the 17th of July, so lasting us quite, a couple of weeks there, just over 2 weeks. Mercury makes a parallel to Jupiter, so Mercury and Jupiter are on the same side of the atmosphere, and this entered on the 29th of June, is exact at 8:19 a.m. on the 4th of July, and leaves us on the 8th of July, and then Uranus makes a nice, lovely semi-square to the moon's north node. This entered on the 27th of June and is exact at 8:43 a.m. on the 5th of July, and leaves us on the 10th of July at 12:28 a.m. and Uranus is in Taurus and the moon's north node is in Pisces. So how do these aspects flavour our week? Well, so Jupiter's semi-square to Chiron is a period when optimism and growth can clash with deep emotional wounds, and this offers us an opportunity to heal whatever comes up now through expensive learning or through spiritual activities, so by doing research, seeking out tools or mentors or therapy and stuff, or self-help that can help you feel better and deal with any emotional, psychological and spiritual pain that comes up now. So for example, some of you may find like solitude and just a sense of comfort in studying holistic practices like Reiki to address past traumas and foster create personal growth. But the Sun's contra parallel to Pluto brings power struggles to our transformation attempts to our efforts to change or overcome the obstacles that come up this week. Also, hidden truths or breakdown of old structures or beliefs can happen, and although this can bring conflict and inner tension, whatever happens right now wants us to rebuild whatever is knocked down right now. So whether it's our relationships or our inner tranquility, and sort of like rebuild like a foundation that's stronger than the old one that was knocked down. And we may also face sort of like challenges in our career that push us to confront the power dynamics or hidden agendas that can come up in our workplace, and this can lead to us transforming our career or just transforming our relationships, by confronting whatever comes up rather than running away from our issues this week. And this can allow us to be more in line with our true authentic selves. Mercury's parallel to Jupiter adds to the mental expansion, open-mindedness. It can bring clarity into our communication as it kind of enhances our abilities to learn new things, and it just helps us be more open-minded in our discussions and our research. So for instance, someone who's a student may do really well in their academic studies right now, or an author, writer can sort of like experience a surge increase in inspiration in their creative writing. So it's just a really good energy to kind of push yourself forward into the things you've been putting off doing this week, or it not only this week but a lifetime. So this energy really allows us to push on through our obstacles and limited thought patterns and self-destructive habits right now, when sort of like find some balance and stick to some sort of order of routine. Uranus is semi-square to the moon's Moon's North Node allows us to sort of like work on our spiritual growth and our highest potential and align with the things that we really want to attract into our lives by, yes, research and manifestation and visualization, but by also practical hard work, because a lot of the time we can, especially when we're into astrology and things, we can get lost in the the subliminal of it all and forget the practical. So this week these energies allow us to practically do what we need to do, and Uranus is semi-square to the Moon's North Node, allows us to have a deeper understanding of our true purpose and our higher self and what our higher power is. It allows us to connect to that divine, natural, mystic that's like all around the air, but we don't really know what it is, So it's a great energy to embrace our uniqueness this week with and follow our intuition and just do the things that make us smile. So on the 30th of June, the moon enters Aries. Mercury makes a sextile to Uranus, so the moon in Aries brings a fiery sort of energy. It gives us more courage and passion and a desire to take action. It inspires us to be more assertive, independent and proactive in going after our goals. We can feel more confident in initiating difficult conversations and starting new projects, but negatively, Aries energy can lead to conflicts as we can not respect other people's boundaries, or other people can try to overstep our boundaries, and this can lead to conflict in our relationships, and reckless decision making can also bring tension to ourselves and into our relationships as well. So we have to be mindful over the next few days while this energy is active to avoid unnecessary confrontations, to apologise, to respect other people's boundaries, to assert ourselves rather than be pussy, and just be mindful in the way that we go about our days. And we must think before we react, because not doing so can lead to misunderstandings or hurt feelings. Mercury sextile to Uranus supports the innovation of the week and allows us to think outside of the box, and the best use of this energy is to brainstorm and explore new ideas or technologies or viewpoints. And some of you may find yourself coming up with inventive solutions to long-standing problems, or having sort of light bulb enlightening conversations or moments that expand your opinions or viewpoints, but it's important to remain open-minded and flexible and expect the unexpected whenever Uranus is involved, and it's involved a lot this week in terms of being one of the main aspects that's governing us this week, and then we have other aspects with Uranus this week as well. So we move into July. So when we move into July, on the 1st of July, the sun's in Gemini, the moon's in Aries, Mercury's in Cancer, Venus is in Gemini, Mars is in Aries, Jupiter's in Taurus, Saturn is retrograde in Aquarius, Uranus is in Taurus, Neptune's in Pisces, Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn, Chiron is in Pisces, and the moon's North Node is retrograde in Pisces as well. So on the 1st of July, Jupiter's semi-square to Chiron is exact, and I talked all about how that's influencing us this week earlier. Mercury makes a quintile to Mars, so this is nice sort of energy, but also dynamic, that can help us be more effective in our communication and making our conversations more dynamic and assertive. We can become more quicker in our thinking, and this allows us to be more rapid in our problem solving abilities. We can become more creative as well, inspiring new ideas and approaches, so this is really good. But negatively, Mercury's quintile to Mars can sort of make us more impatient and add to the conflict already present this week. The best use of this energy is for presentations, brainstorming, negotiating, sales and marketing, anything that sort of involves persuasion, especially inner work, shadow work, persuading your own self to do the things that are best for you and will keep you in the best psychological, emotional and spiritual and physical and financial health possible. So a salesperson during Mercury's quintile to Mars can just find themselves becoming really good at using their communication skills to close important deals more quickly and efficiently, and your quick thinking can help you address any objections or concerns promptly, and using a creative approach to overcoming any obstacles to your sales techniques right now can lead you to come up with innovative solutions that impress your potential clients or your boss or co-workers or whatever. So we just need to just watch out for becoming too aggressive or impatient, too pushy in our sales or in any communication that we're trying to do right now, because this can backfire. On the 2nd of July, the Sun makes a semi-square to Uranus, the Moon enters Taurus and enters its balsamic moon phase, Neptune goes retrograde, and I'm going to talk about that in some detail here, but I've done a whole in-depth special on it if you want to check out the playlist. Mercury makes a trine to Neptune also. The Sun's contraparallel to Pluto is at 3:06, and the Sun makes a square to the Moon's north node as well. Okay, so the Sun's semi-square to Uranus signifies and adds to our week of change, innovation and unpredictability. It can bring exciting opportunities for growth, but negatively, the sudden disruptions can add to the conflicts and resistance to change, and you're wanting to try new things, or you may resist change right now as well. The Moon in Taurus brings that stability and comfort that we need, and this can be good to increase our connection to nature, going outside of our inner nature, our inner values, and also just take some time out to enjoy being with friends, family, lovers, or on yourself, and cooking, and just enjoying material pleasures, within bounds, don't overdo it. It allows us just to indulge in self-care and enjoy sensual experiences. As I said, good food and relaxation, but we can be too stubborn and it can add to the resistance to change, and we can overdo it as well. So we must find temperance and balance and only spend and do the things that we can afford to do in terms of money, cost of money and cost of time and energy as well. The balsamic moon is a good energy for us to reflect and release and find closure over the next 4 to 5 days. The moon's in this phase. It allows us to let go of the things that no longer serves us and make room for new beginnings in the upcoming cycle of the new moon coming, and it's a good energy to use to tie up loose ends and make room for personal transformation. Neptune retrograde allows us to focus on our spirituality, our intuition and our inner world, do shadow work and understand our emotional sides of ourselves, and try and find some inner stability, starting or continuing the work of doing that. It can deepen our connection to the higher realms and increase our creativity and compassion. It can also bring confusion or illusions to ourselves and make it hard for us to gain clarity, so we must do all we can to gain stability at this time. And if you check out my special, you'll be able to get techniques on how to handle Neptune retrograde while it is there for just nearly 5 months. So yeah, Mercury makes a trine to Neptune also, so Neptune's involved again, and it's a nice energy that allows us to think intuitively. It supports us tuning into our more emotional, psychological sides and our creative expression, and having more empathy in our communication with our self-talk and with other people as well, and it just helps us to gain spiritual insights and solve problems as well. So it's a good energy to use for visualization and imagination techniques and deep conversations and intuitive decision making as well. And the moon in Taurus just helps us, giving us that grounding that we need to really just understand ourselves and to just look after ourselves and resist being stubborn as well. And the sun square to the moon's north node allows us to uncover barriers that we have to having the sense of self and finding our higher purpose, and it wants us to find a balance between being assertive and reaching emotional fulfillment. And it wants us to sort of like align our ego with our true, authentic, spiritual, authentic identity, and it wants us to, sort of like really use this opportunity to adjust the things that we need to adjust, reassess our goals, and try and act with clarity and integrity, and just reminding us that if we want to grow, if we want better for our lives, we have to step outside of our comfort zones and embrace change. So on the 3rd of July, Venus makes a trine to Saturn at 2:41. Venus's contraparallel to Pluto is exact at 7:53 a.m. and Mercury makes an opposition to Pluto as well. So Venus's trine to Saturn brings a sort of like blending of the energies of Venus, which are our love, relationships, values, and Saturn, which is discipline, karma, responsibility. So it wants us to bring more stability and helps us to bring more stability and commitment in our relationship, especially the one that each person should be having with themselves over their lifetime. It can bring long-lasting love or financial security through careful planning. So it just promises if the things that we start now or continue now are supported for our long-term success after the many failures that we often have to face while reaching our success. But this is all a natural part of the process. But negatively, we can become too cautious and inflexible in expressing our affection, and we may become emotionally cold, and it may cause problems in our relationships as well. And over reliance on tradition can get in the way of growth. We can be like, well, I've always done this way, I don't want to change. But we need to, especially if we were not open to changes in the way that we express and give or receive intimacy right now, this can cause problems. So the best use of this energy is to use it to strengthen your existing relationships by deepening your emotional bonds through open communication and mutual respect. It's a good energy to use to make practical financial decisions and lay a solid foundation for your future. Venus's contraparallel to Pluto supports us in being passionate and being open to having transformative experiences in our love life and our personal growth journeys right now. So this is much needed energy, and this energy can help us uncover hidden desires that can lead to profound emotional connections that can trigger positive changes. But negatively, there can be a risk of power struggles and jealousy and obsession and manipulation that can come out in our relationship right now because of a need for control and power, and because of the increased emotions we can experience. It can just be overwhelming. It's no excuse. If you overstep somebody's boundaries, be willing to apologise and be open to accepting apologies as well. Of course, don't make people overstep your boundaries, but be forgiving as well, because we all are only human after all. So the best use of this energy is to help heal ourselves, let go of past traumas, and make way for more authentic and fulfilling connections in our life. Mercury's opposition to Pluto helps us gain mental clarity and dig into complex issues and uncover hidden truths. It sort of like promotes us having deeper conversations, but again, and on the negative, communication can become intense and add to the manipulation, power struggles and conflicts because of the need to control information or narratives right now. Allow other people to have their opinions. We're 8 billion people in this world. We all see things and process things, even though we may see that the colour that we're looking at is red. We can all see that the sun is mostly yellow or orange on some days, but the shades of orange that we say is will vary. We have to sort of like give people grace to be themselves and allow ourselves to be ourselves and watch ourselves in every moment, which becomes easier over time to make sure that we're living up to the values we say that we have, because a lot of the times the things we think we are and the things we say we are not what we are doing. in reality, and this is because our subconscious mind can drive us to do automatic responses that get in the way of our self-improvement journey. So this is why self-awareness is very, very key to personal development and change. So the best use of the energy of Mercury's opposition to Pluto is to use it to have honest and transformative conversations, self-reflect and explore your deepest thoughts and beliefs, and be willing to go deep in your experiences with others. On the 4th of July, and if you celebrate the 4th of July, happy 4th of July to you guys. So today, the moon enters void of course, the sun makes a parallel to Venus, Mercury makes a parallel to Jupiter, and the moon enters Gemini. And of course, void of course moon is the time when some astrologers say, it's best to put off important meetings and important things. It's in void of course today for about 8 hours. Of course, life always be lifing, so we can't always put off things, but if you feel the need to, then do. The sun's parallel to Venus boosts our creativity and allows for harmony in our values and our pleasure-seeking behaviour, so this is really good. Some of you may find yourself being more charming and able to connect with others on a deeper level, as it boosts our overall happiness and gives us creativity, and it's a good energy for networking and enjoying time with others. It allows us to express love and affection more easily, make peace with others, and indulge in enjoyable activities. So this energy smooths over the tension of this week. So if you've been a bit of a doucheball this week, or someone's been a bit of a doucheball to you, they may start apologising under this influence, and the sun's parallel to Venus allows us to give and receive compliments and apologies, and just compliment each other on our appearances and the things we're doing well, and just be romantic with our love interests, but negatively we can be superficial and overindulge in luxuries and become overly dependent on others for validation. So it's important to get validation from within and strike a balance between being practical while also giving into the law of romantic feelings and expressing and aesthetic pleasures right now, It's because, we must have fun in life, but we must also pay attention to detail and take care of the practicalities such as work and obligations and responsibilities. So the moon in Gemini allows us to be more curious in our communication and versatile in our emotional expression. So we just need to watch out for changing moods. It's good because it allows us to be adaptable and enjoy intellectual stimulation and being social, but it can make us changeable because people may say things that they do not mean. So it's best to fact check and only say things that you mean right now, and just use this energy to learn new things and seek variety in your life. After all, it is the spice of life. So the combination of today's energies just allow us to really embrace newness. It's a period right for discovering new inspiration, nurturing our relationships and expanding our horizons through a balanced approach which integrates both our emotional fulfillment and our practical, responsibilities as well. So whether it's through being creative or being intellectual or being social right now, there's an opportunity to find balance between our inner desires and external realities today. And so on the 5th of July, Mercury makes a sesquiquadrant to Saturn, Uranus makes its exact semi-square to the moon's north node, Mars makes a sextile to Saturn, and there's a new moon as well. So if you want to know more about the new moon, check out the separate order in the playlist. So Mercury's sesquiquadrant to Saturn at the time of the full moon helps us with any communication challenges that can come up and decision making, and we can find ourselves taking extra time to craft our words, to think about our actions and words before we say and do them, and this can lead to more meaningful interactions and experiences and agreements. But again, it can add to the misunderstandings that can come up today. We just have to watch out again for being too inflexible in our thinking as well, and we can just experience difficulty in expressing ourselves clearly right now. So just take time out if need be, and give yourself and ask for time if you need space. If someone's like sort of like demanding a response now, or you're expecting a response of someone, just try and be a bit patient with the conflicts and obstacles that come up, and try and reach mutual understanding with others rather than be like my way's right and your way's wrong. So yeah, to make the best of this energy, just be open-minded and patient as you are faced with communication challenges right now. Mars' sextile to Saturn allows us to bring more structure into our long-term goals and rethink them and make changes to our long-term plans, and just allows us to combine being assertive and disciplined as well. So some of you may feel increasing motivation to do the things you've been putting off that require your resilience and persistence right now, and this can lead to significant progress or accomplishment. So you may have a project, you may have been working on it for the past 5-10 years, and you may have thought, oh, I should have had this done quicker than now, but a lot of the time, things take longer than what we expect. So if you think some things are going to take, for example, 7 years, it may take 14, maybe not always double, sometimes it could just take an extra year. But my point here is always try and give yourself 25 to 50% grace on time periods that you set, but also don't procrastinate. Although, procrastination has saved me well in my life, but I've have realised that I've had to give it up, and without this podcast that I do shows that I've had to give up my procrastination a little, because I've been doing this now for quite a while, and you just have to keep on going on through your obstacles. So Mars' sextile to Saturn wants us to strike a balance between our ambition and being flexible to avoid burnout and taking on unnecessary stress right now, and to maximise the energy of Mars sextile Saturn, we have to set realistic targets, bearing in mind that life can bring failure, life can bring challenges, plans can change, short-term, unexpected events can happen, So we just have to we have to set realistic targets and stick to a well-defined plan. And sometimes that well-defined plan is that, obstacles will come, and that we have to be strategic with our thinking to make advancement towards our goals over our lifetime, because if we don't gain stability and sort of control and discipline, we can find it hard, to reach our targets, So on the 6th of July, Venus makes a square to Chiron, the moon enters void, of course, and then the moon enters Cancer. So Venus' square to Chiron encourages us to confront our past wounds, and especially the ones that are related to love and self-worth, and by facing these issues we can experience profound healing and growth in our relationships. So some of you going through these transits may find themselves addressing deep-seated insecurities that have been holding you back in your romantic life, and when the moon enters Cancer, it can add to this sort of insecurity because it can make us moody, but on the positive, it allows us to be more emotionally sensitive and intuitive and connect with the people we care about or ourselves, and also tap into our subconscious feelings and thoughts, and we can just want to do things that bring us more a sense of emotional security. But negatively, when the moon's in Cancer, as I said, we can be prone to mood swings and hypersensitivity and overreact to perceive wrongs and feel overwhelmed by emotions at this time, and become too dependent on people and external experiences to provide us with a sense of inner stability as well. And we must share, and it's good to have relationships and stuff, but over time, especially as we get into our late 20s and 30s, we have to start relying on ourselves more and more to give ourselves the things that we used to seek from relationships, people, and products and services and stuff. And negatively, Venus' square to Chiron can also add to the self-doubt and us feeling inadequate, not good enough, and can bring up unresolved emotional pain to the surface, and we may want to run and numb ourselves from it because it brings us discomfort. But The best use of these energies is to use self-reflection, seek therapy, and use open communication and be gentle and love on yourself, through any obstacles that come up right now, to build your resilience and emerge stronger. And we can use these energies to sort of like just become more at peace with the cycle of life and our moods and our experiences, and to just try and be more sort of like at one with ourselves and others by taking the time to deal with any emotional wounds and unresolved pain that comes to our attention right now, and to try and not give in to the mood swings and do the things that we need to just bring us a sense of comfort without staying in our comfort zone. We must be open to new things as well. So yeah, that's the end of the weekly scopes from the 30th of June to the 6th of July. Take care and see you next time.